Okay, I'm Thompson. I'm a world champion bench press and powerlifter. I created a video called Bench Press 101, and for the Raw Fitness Combine channel, I'm going to create a series of videos in shorter segments that gets in more detail than my Bench Press 101 video. So to start with, we're going to talk about hand placement. A lot of times you see people in gyms or even competitions that their hands are very close when they bench press. We call those tricep bench pressers because they're really just using their triceps to bench the weight, which works for a while, but eventually you kind of hit a top end strength and then it's hard to improve. Where your chest muscle is a much bigger muscle, so the wider you get your hands out, the more weight you'll be able to bench press. So there's sort of a rule of thumb when you're starting with the bench as to how far you should put your hands apart. One thing that you can do is you can measure from clavicle to clavicle across your body. And the clavicle is that end of that rounded bone right here on the top of your shoulder. So if you measure from here to here and you double that length, that's a good starting point for your hand position. Now sometimes it may change over time as you get stronger, or if you get pain you might want to adjust your hands a little bit, but it's a great starting point for hand position and for the bench press. So when I bench press, I look at this bar and I put my ring fingers on there, and I found that to be the best point of press for me. Okay? The other thing you want to work on is your arch. Your arch is going to help you get into a great position. When I'm setting up for the bench press, I try to get as much weight on the top of my shoulders as possible. The idea is by putting as much weight up this way, I'm making my chest very high, getting my chest up as high as possible and get myself in the decline position. You may notice when you're in the gym, you usually can bench more decline than you can flat bench. And so the idea of the arch is to getting you into that decline position, which is a more power position for your chest. Now in order to get a great arch, I use footballs. In our gym we have 3 or 4 footballs, and they're all sort of pumped up to various strengths. So you want to start with sort of a football with less air and sort of work your way up to a very tough football, hard football. So what I do throughout the day, and definitely before my bench press, is I roll over this football, stretching out my back over the football, allowing me to get my chest up as high as possible. So basically I just put it under my lower back, and I lay down, and I kind of let it stretch for a while, and then once I'm pretty good with that, I might pick up some weight and just sort of warm up with it a little bit. And I actually warm up with the football for all my warm-up sets before I actually bench press. When I bench press, I take it out. So when I'm setting up for the bench press, I want to get my hand placement correctly. I want to get on the top of my shoulders. I want to push myself up into the biggest, highest chest position I can. And I use the stanchions to help me with that. So when I set up, I use these to sort of push myself back, get myself up way on top of my shoulders, and then I get my good arm placement here. And then I take a huge breath and hold it, and out. And one of the things you also want to make sure you're doing is that when you have the rack at a good height, so you're just taking it out. You see a lot of people pushing up and out, and once you push that bar up and out, you've lost your chest being up high, and now you're moving at a much larger distance, and you're using less of your strength muscles with your kind of declined cave chest, okay? So really what we want to do is on your shoulders, chest up, good arm placement. You want to just take it out and then bring it down, and then when I'm pushing up, I'm really flaring my lats and keeping them nice and tight the whole entire distance of the bar. So way on high at my shoulders, got my arm placement, huge breath, out, back is super tight, bring it down, and then really flare those lats up. And that is a really good start for the bench.